I never set out to be a taphophile. In fact, I didn't even know there was a word for it. This gentle pull towards graveyards, this comfort in the company of stones and silence. I only knew that something in me settled when I stepped past an old iron gate. I think it started when I was young, though I couldn't have explained it then. There was an old cemetery behind my grandmother's church. No high marble obelisks or grand family vaults, just rows of weathered markers leaning in the grass. I remember running my fingers over the rough names, the dates that stopped too soon, the little lambs and weeping willows carved above them. I didn't find it frightening, only sad, and somehow relaxing. As I grew older, cemeteries found me in unexpected places. Road trips, vacations, wandering through an unfamiliar town. I'd see a stone wall or an iron fence and feel my feet drifting that way, almost by instinct. I'd linger there, sometimes for hours, reading names I'd never known, piecing together lives from fragments, a birth date, a death date, a line of poetry that once meant everything to someone who stood there grieving. People often ask, doesn't it feel morbid, standing among the dead? Shouldn't you be out there where life is happening, in bustling cafes or busy streets? But I find that graveyards are full of life, just a quieter kind. They hold the echoes of laughter and heartbreak, whole stories whispered into stone. Here, the drama of living is distilled to its simplest truths. We are here for a moment, and then we're gone. And all that remains is what we leave behind. A name, a memory, a weathered stone for someone like me to find and wonder about. Some people come to cemeteries out of duty or grief, but I come to cemeteries out of curiosity and reverence. There's a calm in these places that I can't find anywhere else. A hush that invites reflection in a world that rarely allows it. When I walk through the gates, the noise of daily life falls away. Deadlines, small talk, the constant buzz of screens, they mean nothing here. Here, time doesn't rush me. It drifts like a crow's shadow across the grass. I suppose there's a part of me that finds comfort in this reminder that we are all temporary. Over time, I've learned to look for the details. The child's grave marked with a tiny angel. The husband and wife reunited in the earth decades apart. Or the rows of veterans resting beneath little flags that flutter, even though no one is there to salute them. I've seen stones that were so old that the names were nearly eaten away by time, or the way the living are slowly reclaimed by the ground. There's a quiet poetry in that. We fight so hard to matter or to be remembered, yet we fade away. That could be sad or it could be freeing depending on how you look at it. Am I a taphophile? I think so. Not because I crave death, but because I crave to understand it. I crave to fold it into my thoughts until it feels less like a threat and more like an inevitability I can greet calmly when the time comes. I think we'd all do well to spend a little time among the stones every now and then, to let the hush remind us how fragile we are and how stubbornly beautiful life can be despite that fragility. I don't always tell people about this part of myself. Some wouldn't understand. They'd wrinkle their noses, make jokes about horror movies or ghosts. But there are others, and maybe you are one of them, who know exactly what I mean. Maybe you've stood at the edge of an old cemetery and felt it too. That tug, that quiet welcome, that sense that while the living world shouts and demands, the dead only ask to be remembered. So yes, if standing here, brushing leaves from an old stone, whispering a name no one's spoken in a century makes me a taphophile, then I'll claim it gladly. In the end, we all become stories waiting for someone to read. Maybe my story is simply this. I read the names that no one remembers, and in doing so, I remember what it means to be alive.